This episode is brought to you by my friends at The Botanist Isla Dry Gin. You guys know how much I love a gin and tonic with The Botanist, but the combination of botanicals make it work well in a wide variety of cocktails, from a martini to a Negroni to a gimlet or a red snapper, or just on its own. That's right, I'm having gin on the rocks, and it's really doing it for me. We'll whip up a cocktail to have with our grilled feast later on, but for now, let's get down to basics. Whoa, hold up, I thought that this was an episode about grilling. What, pray tell, is Babby doing with this peeled and sliced pineapple? Well, I'm gonna grill it. Recently I've been making this grilled shrimp, pineapple, and poblano pepper sort of ceviche, and it's perfect for one of the two make-ahead elements of our grilled feast. We're just gonna hit them with a little bit of vegetable oil and they're ready to go. We're also gonna char the poblano peppers on the grill, so we're just gonna chop off their tops, dig out their seedy hearts, and slice them in half lengthwise. And with that, we're headed out to our first of 2 trips to the grill, which, if you're anything like me, looks something like this. Grates caked with the 1,000 ghosts of meals past. So now's the perfect time to preheat it for 15 minutes on full blast, and once it clocks around 600 degrees Fahrenheit, give it a thorough brushing. This not only prevents a whole bunch of old food getting stuck to your new food, it helps prevent food from getting stuck. Once everything is good and brushed, we're gonna plop down our pineapple, plus we're gonna plunk down our poblano peppers. But leave a little space, because we're also going to grill our shrimp. The shrimp that I'm playing with today is called Easy Peel, shrimp that's been deveined but still has an easily removable shell. This is going to help protect the delicate meat of the shrimp and prevent them from becoming stringy or tough. You can definitely use peeled shrimp, just be sure to take them off the very second that they're done cooking so they don't overcook. I usually shoot for about 120 degrees Fahrenheit at its thickest point. Once the shrimp are up to temp, we're going to take them off the grill and plunge them directly into an ice bath. This is going to halt their cooking and get them nice and chilly for the ceviche. Next up are the poblano peppers that we've left skin side down, and we're going to pull them off the grill and wrap them in aluminum foil as soon as they've developed a completely charred exterior. That's going to soften up the peppers and make them easier to peel. Last up, the pineapple we're taking off once it's developed some nice grill marks. Last thing to do is assemble our sort of ceviche. We're going to start by peeling our shrimp and removing their tails if they still have the shells on, and then depending on the size of your shrimp, you might want to cut them down into bite-sized pieces. Next up, our grilled and cooled pineapple, which for each slice we're going to cut in half, remove its tough fibrous core, and likewise cut into bite-sized pieces similar to the size of the shrimp. Last but not least, we got our poblanos, which we're going to remove from the foil and start to peel off their carbonized exteriors. Not only would it be pretty bitter and acrid, but it also probably isn't very good for you. Chop it up, add to the mix. Then optionally you can add a little bit of chopped mango. I find that this adds a lovely mango flavor to the thing. Then we're dressing this with the juice of 2 limes. Then depending on how spicy your poblanos are, you could add some thinly sliced jalapeno if you want a little bit more heat, and for a little bit of crunch and a lot of bit of flavor, some sliced scallions. Toss that together with some freshly ground pepper, some kosher salt, maybe a little splash of olive oil, and another flavor that plays really nice in this party is a little bit of ground cumin, like a 1/4 teaspoon's worth. Toss this guy together, give him a taste, test for seasoning, add salt, pepper, or cumin as necessary, and then you can cover them up and keep them in the fridge until you're ready to eat them. Next up on the pre-production side of our grilled feast is a potato salad. I got about 4 pounds of baby Yukons here, which I'm just going to cut in half, but you can use any waxy potato and cut it into bite-sized pieces. Then I'm going to add the potato slices to a pot full of water, which first I'm going to heavily salt and add a splash of vinegar. This is not only going to add some flavor, it's going to help the potatoes retain their shape throughout cooking. Once we got them all sliced and diced, we're going to place the pot on a stove and heat it using fire. Get it up to a boil, keep it there for like, I don't know, 10-12 minutes, and once the potatoes are tender throughout, evacuate them onto a rimmed baking sheet where they can cool completely. Now you might be asking yourself, what kind of potato salad are we making here, Babish? And the answer is an elote potato salad. So I got 3 ears of sweet corn here that I'm going to toss with a little bit of oil before placing on our preheated grill, where we're going to blast it over high heat for 10-15 minutes depending on your grill. We just want a solid amount of char and for the corn to be fully cooked. This is all a great opportunity to get to know your grill before we bust out the burgers. Shuffle stuff around and find out where all of its hot and cold spots are. Once the corn is nicely charred, we're going to let it cool completely and build our dressing. 1/2 cup each sour cream and mayonnaise, an optional 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper if you want a little bit of heat, the freshly squeezed juice of 1 lime, a teaspoon each kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper. You might need to adjust as necessary. Tiny whisk that together until nice and smooth, and then it's time to start adding our solids. I'm going to add 1/2 a large chopped red onion, not typically part of elotes, but it's going to be real nice here. The charred kernels of our grilled corn that we're going to slice off the cob. Add those guys to the party, and then we're going to add some chopped cilantro. cilantro, or chopped parsley if you're like me and you don't like cilantro. Add our cooked and cooled taters, and then we just got one more piece of our tater salad puzzle, some crumbled cotija cheese, about a half cup's worth. This stuff can be kind of hard to find sometimes, so if you can't find it, feta is an acceptable substitute. Mix this guy together until thoroughly mixed, taste for seasoning, adjust per your preferences, and this guy's ready to be covered in plastic wrap and fridged until ready to consume. Now we can start with the a la minute stuff. Burgers. I want consistently sized burgers, so I'm going to carefully measure out third-pound mounds of ground round. I'm just kidding, it's ground chuck, specifically 85% lean ground chuck, which I'm going to press into patties that sort of have a bowl shape to them. Burgers contract when they cook, which is why you sometimes end up with burgers that more closely resemble meatballs. This concave shape helps compensate for that, so you end up with a burger with the proper proportions. Now we're headed out to our preheated grill, where we're going to generously season our burgers with kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper right before putting them on the grill. Do not be mixing salt, pepper, any other seasonings, onions, peppers, whatever into your burgers. They will positively knacker your burger's texture. Gently pat the seasonings onto the surface, and then we're going to lay these down on the hottest part of the grill that you can find. The objective here is to sear the hell out of these burgers for a couple minutes and then let them finish cooking in a cooler part of the grill. We're also going to toss our hot dogs over there and toast our buns on the aforementioned cooler side of the grill. One big concern with burgers is flare-ups. Little ones like this are totally normal, but you can expect a pretty big fireworks display when you flip it over. If, however, during cooking you find that your burger is engulfed in flames like this, you're going to want to relocate it. That just means that there's too much fat that's fallen down into the grill, and while it looks cool, it's going to impregnate your burger with acrid, burnt-tasting flavors. The hot dogs are just kind of hot dogs. You grill hot dogs until they're done, and then you eat them. Now, for the burgers, we're going to do something special. We're going to top them with pimento cheese. Once we've placed them over on the cooler side of the grill where the cheese can melt and the burgers can finish cooking. Close the lid as necessary. On a gas grill, you're closing it to make it hotter. On a charcoal grill, you're closing it to smother the fire and make it colder. Get the burgers cooked to your degree of doneness, and then it's time to assemble. A July 4th favorite at my house parties has been a Reuben-style hot dog, a couple slices of pastrami, hot dog, a big pile of sauerkraut, and a squirt of Russian dressing. If you ask me, hot dogs need no improvement, but this sure works. The pimento cheeseburgers we're dressing up simply with the usual burger accoutrement. Not so much lettuce. What is this, a salad? LTO, ketchup, mustard. Top it up, and we're ready to present. A grilled feast to celebrate. Fireworks, family, and food. So now to take this meal to the next level, all we need is a great cocktail. Since all the wild botanicals in The Botanist play really nice with savory flavors, I'm feeling like a twist on the classic Bloody Mary that we're going to call the Red Snapper. I have here 2 ounces of The Botanist Isla dry gin, which I'm going to combine in a cocktail shaker with 4 ounces of the very finest tomato juice, a half ounce of the very finest freshly squeezed lemon juice, precisely 4 dashes of your favorite hot sauce, 1, 2, 3, 4, precisely 4 dashes of your favorite Worcestershire sauce, and about 1 bar spoon's worth of horseradish. This here is a bar spoon, which we're going to use to measure out a bar spoon's worth of horseradish. Plop, in she goes. Plus I'm going to add a little pinch of celery salt and a little pinch of freshly ground black pepper. Now we're going to do something called rolling the cocktail. That is, we're going to mix it without shaking or stirring it. We're going to put a few cubes of ice in a separate, smaller cocktail shaker and hold them in place using a strainer. See, it's simple physics. Then to roll it, we're going to simply pour the cocktail back and forth between the 2 shakers. This mixes the cocktail without any bubbles or froth and with minimal dilution. Just pour it back and forth, 5-6 times until it's well chilled and ready to strain over rocks in a Collins glass. Garnish with all your favorite garnishes. I'm going with the classic lemon, celery, and pickle affair. And there you have it, the perfect savory cocktail to go with all this savory stuff. It's even a patriotic red color, perfect for the 4th of July. While the vodka and a Bloody Mary can easily slip into the background, this Red Snapper has a notable depth of flavor coming from the Botanist Gin's variety of botanicals. Order a bottle of the Botanist today on Drizzly. The link is in the video description. Cheers, guys, and happy grilling.